Have you ever had a feeling that someone in your life isn't exactly who they appear to be? Maybe it's a friend, a colleague, or even someone you're dating. You trust them, but deep down, something feels off. Well, Aquarius, this June, the stars have a message for you. The universe is bringing hidden truths to the surface, and the person you thought you knew might not be who they say they are. Welcome back to Zen Mind Peaceful Life, the place where we dive deep into the cosmos and explore how astrology guides us on our journey of self-discovery. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on insightful content like this. And if you're ready to uncover the truth that the stars have in store for you, give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need a little cosmic clarity in their life. Now, whether you're an Aquarius or not, the energies of June are powerful for everyone. For Aquarius, this month might just bring you the revelation you've been waiting for, a moment where you see someone in your life for who they truly are, not who they've been pretending to be. But here's the thing, Aquarius, trusting your gut will be key. You've always been able to think ahead, to detach from emotions and make logical decisions, but June's energy is asking you to trust your intuition and face the reality of what's been hiding under the surface. And trust me, what you find might shock you. So stick around, because in the next few minutes, we're going to explore exactly what's going on in your life this month, and how you can navigate this cosmic revelation to gain deeper insight into your relationships and your own personal growth. Let's dive in. Have you ever been in a situation where everything seemed perfect at first, but something about the relationship or person just didn't sit right with you? You know those moments when you try to ignore that nagging feeling in your gut, but it keeps resurfacing, urging you to take a closer look? If you're an Aquarius, June is about to bring you the clarity you've been craving. The cosmic energies are shifting, and now more than ever, it's time for you to trust your instincts and see through the surface of those around you. As an Aquarius, you are naturally analytical. You value truth, individuality, and the freedom to live life on your own terms. But when it comes to relationships, whether it's love, friendship, or even business, you often approach things with a sense of curiosity and open-mindedness. Sometimes, this means you let your guard down, even when the red flags are quietly waving in the background. This June, the universe is guiding you to dig deeper, to see through the masks that people wear, and to uncover what's really going on beneath the surface. The planet Uranus, which governs your sign, is all about surprise, disruption, and awakening. This month, Uranus is activating an energy that's pushing you to see the truth about someone in your life who's been holding back. Whether it's a romantic partner, a close friend, or even a colleague, the truth about their intentions is about to be revealed. You might find yourself questioning a connection that once seemed effortless. Have you ever had a friend or partner who always said the right things, but something about their actions just didn't match their words? That's the kind of energy we're dealing with. It's like when you meet someone who seems almost too good to be true, but there's this nagging feeling that makes you pause. It's not about being paranoid, it's about trusting that subtle sense that something's off. Now, Aquarius, let's be real here. You are really good at seeing the bigger picture, but sometimes, in relationships, the little details can slip through the cracks. You might convince yourself that people around you are just misunderstood or that their intentions are pure. But this month, things are different. The universe is pushing you to tune into those small signs. They could come in the form of a conversation where someone doesn't quite seem genuine, or an action that doesn't align with what they've said. It's not always about being overtly deceptive. Sometimes, it's just a subtle shift in behavior that reveals the truth, like when a friend suddenly becomes distant without explanation, or a partner avoids a serious conversation about the future. Here's the thing, Aquarius, you have one of the sharpest minds in the zodiac, but you also tend to approach people with an open heart. This combination can make you vulnerable to being misled, especially when the people around you aren't as transparent as they seem. In moments like this, it's important to remember that your intuition is just as powerful as your intellect. The universe is showing you signs this month, and they're meant to open your eyes to the truth you've been avoiding. So, when that gut feeling kicks in, don't brush it off as overthinking. Lean into it. Take a moment and think back to a time when you ignored your intuition. Maybe it was a friend who seemed too perfect, or a relationship that felt too easy. How did that turn out? If you're honest with yourself, you'll realize that, somewhere along the way, things started to feel a little too smooth, like you were living in someone else's version of reality. It's in those moments when things feel too perfect that you need to ask yourself, what's missing? And more importantly, what are they hiding? Trusting your intuition this June doesn't mean being overly suspicious of everyone around you. It simply means giving yourself permission to question what doesn't feel right, even when the other person seems completely flawless. For example, have you ever been in a situation where a person in your life just wouldn't open up? Maybe they would change the subject whenever you brought up something personal. Or they'd act a little too defensive when you asked about their past. These are the types of things you'll start noticing more clearly this month. It's a little like peeling back the layers of an onion. Aquarius. As you do, you'll find that the core of this person isn't what it appeared to be on the surface. Neptune, the planet of illusions, is also at play right now, adding to the confusion. Neptune can blur the lines between reality and fantasy, making it difficult to see the truth when emotions are involved. And let's face it, Aquarius, you're not immune to this. Neptune might have you feeling like you've found someone who aligns perfectly with your values, only to discover later that they've been playing a role. Maybe their kindness was a facade. Or they've been hiding something from you, whether it's their true feelings or an aspect of their life that they're not ready to share. The fact is, Neptune's energy can make even the most clear-headed Aquarius question their reality. But this month, you are being asked to cut through that fog. You might start noticing things that you've overlooked before. Pay attention to the small things, how they react when they think you're not looking, or what they say when they're distracted. These little moments can tell you more about someone than an entire conversation. For instance, imagine you're having a conversation with someone who's been acting a bit distant lately. Maybe they're always busy, or they don't return your calls as promptly. At first, you might have brushed it off as them being overwhelmed with work or personal issues. But now, something feels different. The excuse doesn't quite match the energy anymore, and that feeling of doubt starts to grow. This is the moment when you need to trust your gut, Aquarius. You've got a natural ability to detach from situations and see them from an intellectual perspective, but this month, your intuition is your most valuable tool. If something feels off, it's because there's a reason for it. It's not about paranoia, it's about paying attention to the patterns that are starting to emerge. For example, if a person's actions are inconsistent with their words, take note of it. This doesn't mean you should jump to conclusions, but it does mean that you need to start questioning the narrative they've built around themselves. As much as you want to believe the best in people, the stars are urging you to take a step back and reevaluate. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off immediately, but it does mean taking the time to assess their true intentions. Sometimes, the person who seems too good to be true is just that, too good to be true. And the sooner you recognize this, the sooner you can create space for more authentic relationships. Aquarius, the universe is asking you to step into your power of discernment this June. Use your sharp intellect and your even sharper intuition to guide you through this month's cosmic revelations. The truth may not always be easy to face, but it will set you free. And once you see the truth, you'll find that your life and your relationships will become far more aligned with who you truly are. As we continue through June, the revelations won't stop here. The more you uncover, the more you'll learn about your own boundaries and your own growth. In the next part of this video, we'll explore how you can use these cosmic shifts to transform your relationships and strengthen your sense of self. Stay tuned, because what comes next might just change the way you see the people around you forever. The next part of this cosmic journey is all about understanding how the energies of June are pushing Aquarius to look deeper, especially when it comes to relationships. It's time to embrace the subtle shifts that may have escaped your notice before. So often, Aquarius, you're focused on the big picture, always thinking ahead, always questioning the why behind everything. But now, the universe is asking you to look at the tiny details, those moments that you might have brushed off or thought were insignificant. In June, it's all about slowing down and paying attention to the quiet whispers of truth that are surrounding you. Aquarius, there's a common misconception that you are immune to deception. That you're always one step ahead. And while your intellect is sharp, sometimes the heart's desires can cloud that clarity. This is especially true when emotions and attachments come into play. Think about those moments when you meet someone new, and everything seems to click. They're charismatic, charming, and seem to have all the right words. But somewhere deep down, there's this feeling, this little voice telling you that something doesn't add up. It's easy to ignore, isn't it? After all, they seem so perfect. But this month, the stars are giving you the cosmic nudge to pause and take a closer look. Think back to that moment when you felt that twinge of doubt about someone you were connecting with. Perhaps you've been dating someone who checked off all the boxes on your list. They're smart, attractive, and emotionally available. But then, they start pulling back. Their texts get less frequent. The intimacy feels distant. And when you try to talk about it, they dodge the conversation, offering vague answers that only seem to deepen the mystery. This is when Aquarius, your natural gift for seeing the bigger picture, can sometimes work against you. Instead of accepting the inconsistencies for what they are, you might start to rationalize them away, telling yourself, it's just a phase. They're going through something. But the truth is, sometimes people reveal their true selves when they start to pull away. Their actions, unspoken and subtle, speak louder than any word they could say. This doesn't mean that every situation is steeped in deception. But it does mean that Aquarius is being called to trust their instincts even more this month. The way someone avoids certain topics, the way they refuse to open up fully, or even the way they react when you ask something that feels too personal, these are all signals that can't be ignored. Even if they seem innocent on the surface, Aquarius, take these moments as clues to the bigger picture. Pay attention to those actions that don't align with their words. They're revealing something much deeper than what meets the eye. And here's the thing, Aquarius, you have a tendency to give people the benefit of the doubt. You're one of the most open-minded signs of the zodiac. You believe in second chances. And sometimes you even give people the benefit of the doubt when your instincts are telling you otherwise. That's a beautiful quality, but sometimes it can blind you to the truth. People have a way of hiding their true selves, whether it's out of fear, insecurity, or manipulation. But this June, the stars are encouraging you to stop giving people the benefit of the doubt. Especially when the signs are clear. If someone is pulling away or being overly defensive, trust that feeling. The universe is showing you what's beneath the surface, but only if you're willing to look. You might be wondering, but what if I'm wrong? What if I'm misinterpreting things? It's natural to feel that way, especially when you want to believe the best in people. But remember, Aquarius, when your gut is telling you something isn't right, it's because your mind is picking up on things your conscious awareness may have missed. It's not about being paranoid or jumping to conclusions. It's about being alert and aware of the subtle shifts that could ultimately make or break a relationship. Let's say you've been in a long-term friendship that started to feel one-sided. The communication is no longer flowing like it used to, and when you try to reach out, they seem distant, unavailable. Your instinct is telling you there's something wrong, but you keep telling yourself, maybe they're just busy. But that nagging feeling in your stomach doesn't go away, does it? That's your intuition at work, Aquarius. Don't ignore it. The truth may not be easy to face, but it's better than staying in a relationship where you're not being valued. Neptune's influence this month brings even more layers of illusion into play, especially in romantic and personal relationships. Neptune is the planet of dreams and illusions, which means that Aquarius could find themselves being seduced by fantasies that feel too good to be true. You might meet someone who seems like the perfect partner, charming, sweet, and with all the right things to say. But Neptune can cloud your judgment, making it hard to distinguish between genuine connection and someone who's playing a role. Imagine getting swept off your feet by someone who shows you all the right attention but keeps you at arm's length emotionally. The problem with this kind of energy is that it can make you feel like you're living in a dream that doesn't quite line up with reality. In these moments, Aquarius, it's important to step back and recenter yourself. Neptune's illusionary energy can make you feel like you're in a perfect relationship or friendship when, in reality, you're being sold a story. You might not have all the facts yet, but your gut will start noticing the cracks in the narrative. That's when you need to lean into your critical thinking, but also trust your intuition. If things feel off, they probably are. It's not about doubting everyone around you, but rather being mindful of those whose actions don't match their words. The truth may not always be immediately obvious, but trust that the universe will reveal what's hidden in time. This is where your natural ability to detach and think logically can be your greatest strength. Aquarius. You may not be emotionally swayed by all the charming words or promises, but you have a deep need for authenticity. If you feel that someone is not being authentic with you, it's time to question their motives. They might be hiding something, or they may not even know what they're hiding themselves. Either way, it's your job this June to discern between what's real and what's an illusion. As this month unfolds, Aquarius, there's another energy at play that might surprise you: Mercury retrograde. Yes, we all know it's infamous for causing communication breakdowns, misunderstandings, and revisiting the past. But this doesn't always have to be a negative influence. While it may stir up unresolved issues, it's also the perfect time to reassess past relationships and unfinished business. Maybe someone from your past suddenly reappears in your life, and you feel the urge to reconnect. But as you interact with them, you realize that the things you once overlooked are now more apparent. Perhaps you ignored a friend's tendency to cancel plans last minute, or a partner's refusal to talk about the future. Now, under the influence of Mercury retrograde, those things that once felt like small annoyances are beginning to feel like bigger problems. But don't worry, this isn't about rehashing old issues for the sake of drama. It's about using the opportunity to reassess your boundaries and your values. It's about looking at past relationships through the lens of what you've learned since then. This is your chance to make more informed decisions about who you allow into your life moving forward. Whether you're revisiting an old friendship or confronting an unresolved issue in a romantic relationship, Mercury retrograde gives you the chance to reevaluate and course correct. This is your cosmic permission to look at the past with fresh eyes, with clarity that might have been missing before. This month, Aquarius, you're being asked to recognize when the past is repeating itself, and when it's time to move forward. This means trusting yourself and your instincts. If someone is showing you who they truly are, believe them. Don't second-guess yourself. And if someone from the past resurfaces with unresolved baggage, remember that you're no longer the same person you were when they left. Embrace the changes, and don't be afraid to let go of anything, or anyone, that no longer serves your growth. As the cosmic revelations continue this month, keep your eyes open for the signs. Whether it's a sudden change in someone's behavior, a shift in energy that feels off, or the return of someone from your past, the universe is giving you the tools to see through the illusions and face the truth. The stars are on your side, Aquarius, but it's up to you to take action. Don't be afraid to look beneath the surface, even if what you find isn't what you expected. The truth will always set you free, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. As June continues, Aquarius, the revelations keep coming, and they're urging you to look inward and outward in equal measure. The energy of this month has an undeniable impact on your relationships, pushing you to confront the truth about who's standing by your side, and who may not be as loyal as you once thought. The stars are showing you who is truly aligned with your values, and who might just be hiding something that could threaten the connection. The question is, are you ready to see it for what it is? It's easy, as an Aquarius, to become absorbed in big ideas and global concepts. Your mind is always working, always thinking about the future, about societal structures, and how things could be improved. Your visionary nature makes you an incredible friend and partner, because you see potential in people that others may not notice. But this month, you need to take a step back from the grand picture and focus on the small details that have been overlooked. The nuances that you've dismissed might now be impossible to ignore. Let's talk about that friend, the one who's always been there for you, or at least, you thought they had been. There's something familiar about their behavior now, a shift that's hard to pinpoint but undeniable all the same. You've been getting closer to someone over the past few months, perhaps bonding over shared hobbies or similar life views. At first, it seemed like a perfect connection, one that had potential for a deeper friendship or maybe even something more. But lately, you've begun to notice that this person's actions don't exactly match their words. They've started canceling plans last minute, suddenly too busy for any meaningful conversation. Or perhaps they've become more secretive about their personal life. You find yourself wondering, what's going on? Aquarius, you're not one to jump to conclusions easily. You've always believed in giving people the benefit of the doubt, trusting them until they prove otherwise. But the truth is, there comes a point where your instincts can no longer be ignored. If you feel like something is off, it's because your inner wisdom is picking up on things that your mind may not yet fully grasp. When a person starts acting distant or inconsistent, it's not a coincidence. This is the moment when you need to ask yourself, what are they hiding? But let's be real here, Aquarius. You don't like confrontation. You prefer to stay detached, keeping your emotions in check, and maintaining that cool, aloof exterior. It's a trait that has served you well in many areas of life. You can walk away from drama, make tough decisions without getting bogged down in feelings, and maintain a level of objectivity that others envy. But here's where it gets tricky, when someone's actions don't align with their words. It's not just about confronting them, it's about confronting your own fears. You don't want to be wrong. You don't want to feel foolish for trusting someone who might not deserve it. But Aquarius, if you keep turning a blind eye to what's happening, you might find yourself caught in a web of deception, only realizing too late that your loyalty was misplaced. Imagine, for a moment, that you've been giving someone the benefit of the doubt, even when they've shown signs of dishonesty or evasion. Maybe they've been lying about their whereabouts or avoiding difficult conversations about the future of your relationship. You keep telling yourself, it's just a rough patch. They'll come around. But, deep down, you know that this behavior isn't normal. The truth is, when someone is hiding something from you, the only person who suffers is you. Your instinct to keep things peaceful can lead to you sacrificing your own peace of mind. But this month, the stars are calling you to step up. Take action, and confront the uncomfortable truths that are right in front of you. What would happen if you stopped ignoring the signs? What if you let yourself acknowledge the truth? Even if it's uncomfortable? It's not about being confrontational for the sake of it, but rather asserting your needs, your boundaries, and your values. You deserve honesty, Aquarius. You deserve transparency. And if someone isn't offering that, it's time to reassess the relationship. Now, let's talk about that other aspect of relationships that often trips you up, idealism. Aquarius, you have a natural tendency to see the best in people. You often look beyond their flaws and find the good in them, even when others can't. It's one of your greatest strengths. But it can also be a double-edged sword. You might fall for the illusion of someone's potential rather than accepting them as they truly are. This is where Neptune, the planet of illusions, can wreak havoc on your judgment. Neptune's influence this month makes it easy to get lost in the fantasy of a relationship, especially if it's new or evolving. There's something alluring about the idea of finding someone who shares your dreams, your hopes, and your vision for the future. But sometimes, that dream is exactly that, a dream. Neptune can create a fog, clouding your judgment and making you see people in a way that isn't quite accurate. This isn't about them being bad people, necessarily. It's more about the fact that people can wear masks, whether consciously or unconsciously, and you need to be aware of this tendency when Neptune is at play. Take a look at someone new you've recently met, maybe someone who's been coming on strong, showering you with affection or attention. At first, their interest might feel flattering. But have you stopped to ask yourself if it's genuine? Or are they playing a role that aligns with your hopes and desires? It's easy to get swept up in the fantasy, especially if they seem to share the same values and interests as you. But, Aquarius, it's important to question whether they're showing you the real version of themselves or a carefully curated image that they've created to get closer to you. Under Neptune's influence, you could easily fall into the trap of believing what you want to believe. But remember, illusions fade. It's only a matter of time before the truth comes to light. If you find yourself in this situation, take a step back. Ask yourself, are they being authentic with me, or am I projecting my own ideals onto them? It's okay to be drawn to someone's charm or appearance, but make sure you're also paying attention to their actions. Words are easy to say, but actions tell the truth. If you feel like something is off or that they're holding back, trust your instincts. This doesn't mean you should jump to conclusions, but rather, take the time to observe and reflect before you make any big decisions. This is where your natural ability to detach emotionally can be an asset. You're not overly swayed by emotion in the way some other signs might be. And this gives you a level of clarity that others may lack. When Neptune's fog starts to lift, you'll be able to see the person in front of you more clearly, without the haze of idealization clouding your judgment. But, Aquarius, the stars have one more challenge for you this month: Mercury retrograde. We all know that this cosmic event can stir up chaos, especially in communication and technology. But beyond the usual miscommunications and delays, Mercury retrograde has a deeper purpose for you, especially when it comes to relationships. This is a time for reflection, for revisiting old wounds or unresolved issues that might have been pushed aside. And while this can be uncomfortable, it's an opportunity to clear the air and move forward with a clearer understanding of yourself and those around you. Perhaps an old friend or ex-partner reaches out during this time. It might be tempting to fall back into old patterns, especially if there's unfinished business between you. But Aquarius, don't ignore the lessons you've learned from past experiences. If someone comes back into your life, take the time to assess whether they truly have changed or if they're still carrying the same unresolved baggage they had before. Sometimes, the past has a way of repeating itself, and Mercury retrograde is your opportunity to see if the patterns are resurfacing. This is a moment to reassess your boundaries, Aquarius. Are you allowing people back into your life who have caused you pain before? Are you making the same mistakes that you made in the past? Mercury retrograde asks you to look at the past with a fresh perspective, and if necessary, to make peace with it or move on. It's not about rehashing old arguments or blaming others, it's about understanding how the past has shaped your present relationships and how you can move forward in a healthier, more aligned way. Take a deep breath, Aquarius. The universe is offering you the chance to see things clearly this June, to confront the illusions and lies that might have clouded your judgment. Don't be afraid to take off the rose-colored glasses and look at the reality of your relationships. Whether you're dealing with deception, idealization, or simply someone who isn't as forthcoming as they should be, trust that you have the power to navigate this month's revelations with clarity and confidence. The truth may be uncomfortable, but it will set you free. And with it, you'll be able to build stronger, more authentic connections going forward. As June unfolds, Aquarius, there's one crucial lesson the universe wants you to understand. When it comes to relationships, your intuition is your greatest ally. This month, the stars are guiding you to trust your gut more than ever. So far, you've uncovered hidden truths about people in your life, but now it's time to dig deeper. The clarity you've been seeking is within reach. And the more you lean into your instincts, the more you'll uncover. Aquarius, you are not a sign that easily falls prey to manipulation or lies, but your idealism can sometimes blind you to the truth. You have a natural ability to see the potential in others, and while that's a beautiful quality, it can lead to disappointment when people don't live up to the version you've imagined in your mind. This June, the universe is encouraging you to be brutally honest with yourself. What's really going on beneath the surface of the relationships you hold dear? Are you seeing the person in front of you as they truly are? Or are you seeing what you want them to be? Take a moment to think about your past experiences, particularly with people who've come into your life promising one thing, only to show their true colors much later. Maybe it was a romantic partner who promised commitment, but their actions didn't match up to their words. Or perhaps it was a friend who always seemed to be there for you, until they suddenly became distant without any explanation. These are the moments that can be challenging for Aquarius, because you often want to give people the benefit of the doubt. You'll rationalize their behavior, make excuses, and believe that things will get better. But this month, Aquarius, it's crucial for you to stop rationalizing. If someone is showing you who they are, believe them. Don't wait until it's too late to face the truth. There's a powerful lesson in this for you. Aquarius, boundaries. You are a free spirit, often more concerned with the greater good than your own personal needs. But in relationships, your boundaries are your armor. They protect your peace, your heart, and your energy. If you don't have clear boundaries, you risk losing yourself in someone else's world. This is where Neptune's influence becomes important for you. Neptune's dreamy energy can cloud your judgment, and it's easy to get swept away in the idea of someone. But the reality is often far different from the idealized version of a person or relationship. You might find yourself investing in a relationship that isn't as fulfilling as you thought it would be, simply because you haven't set the proper boundaries to protect your emotional well-being. So, Aquarius, how do you recognize when your boundaries are being violated? It's not always about someone crossing a line in a dramatic way, it's often the small things that add up. Maybe it's the friend who always expects you to drop everything for them, but when you need support, they're nowhere to be found. Or it's the partner who always puts their needs first and ignores yours. These subtle violations can be harder to recognize, but they are just as harmful to your sense of self-worth. The key here is to become aware of the ways in which people are draining your energy. Pay attention to how you feel after interacting with someone. Do you feel exhausted, misunderstood, or unappreciated? Those are signs that your boundaries might not be as clear as they should be. One of the biggest mistakes you can make this month, Aquarius, is allowing someone to overstep your boundaries without addressing it. This is where your natural tendency to detach from emotions can be both a strength and a weakness. You tend to keep a cool, rational perspective, but sometimes, your ability to detach can cause you to suppress your feelings. Don't let this happen. If someone is making you feel uncomfortable or violating your personal space, it's important to speak up. If you don't, you risk allowing the same negative patterns to repeat themselves, causing you to feel stuck in relationships that aren't serving you. Another essential aspect of this month's energy is Mercury retrograde, which always tends to stir up some drama. But it's not all bad news, Aquarius. While Mercury retrograde often brings up old issues, it's also a time for you to reflect on the relationships that have come and gone. During this period, people from your past might reappear, and some unfinished business might resurface. This isn't a time to rehash old arguments or reopen wounds that you've already healed. Instead, think of Mercury retrograde as a chance to put things into perspective. What lessons have you learned from past relationships? Are you allowing old patterns to repeat themselves? Or are you ready to close that chapter for good? This is a great time to look at your past and recognize how far you've come. Perhaps there's an old friendship that fizzled out because someone wasn't being honest with you. Maybe there's a romantic partner who wasn't able to offer you the commitment you needed, despite their promises. Instead of holding on to the past with nostalgia, take this opportunity to evaluate whether or not these people deserve a place in your future. The truth may be hard to accept, but embracing it will give you the freedom to move on from relationships that no longer serve your highest good. And let's not forget the most important relationship of all, the one with yourself. Aquarius, you often put others' needs before your own, believing that you can't truly help others unless you are at peace with yourself. But how can you help others if you aren't filling your own cup first? This month, the stars are asking you to focus on self-care and self-love. Take the time to nourish your soul, to reconnect with what makes you feel whole. Whether it's through meditation, a creative project, or simply taking time to rest, make sure that you are not neglecting your own needs while caring for everyone else. It's easy to fall into the trap of being the helper in relationships, always there for others. Always giving without expecting anything in return. But Aquarius, this is the month to remember that you are just as deserving of love, care, and attention as anyone else. Don't let yourself burn out by giving too much to people who aren't willing to do the same for you. This is your chance to create a balance in your relationships that honors both your needs and the needs of others. Only then can you build the healthy, supportive connections that truly nourish your soul. As we approach the end of June, Aquarius, you will start to see things more clearly. The fog of confusion will lift, and you'll be able to make decisions that align with your highest truth. The people who are meant to stay in your life will prove their worth, and those who are merely passing through will naturally fade away. Trust in the process. Trust in your intuition. And most importantly, trust that the universe is guiding you to the relationships that are right for you. So, as you step forward into the rest of June, remember to stay true to yourself. Trust your instincts and honor your boundaries. The revelations are here to help you grow, to help you evolve into the person you're truly meant to be. Embrace the truth, no matter how difficult it may be. And allow it to lead you toward a brighter, more authentic future. And with that, Aquarius, we've reached the end of today's video. If you found this information helpful and you're ready to embrace the cosmic shifts in your life, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life, and share this video with anyone who might need a little guidance this month. We're all on this journey together. And I'd love to hear about the revelations and transformations you've been experiencing in the comments below. Until next time, keep trusting yourself, and may peace and clarity guide your path.